Stay tuned in the coming minutes as we look forward to serving you, our listeners, with the third episode of Freemasonry. Architecting a Nation, the Founding Fathers, and the Myth of the Crafts. Welcome back to the trestle board of tradition. I'm Abtin Hassani. Today we step out of the lodge room and into the halls of 18th century politics. There is no subject in the history of the craft that invites more speculation, wild theories, and fervent debate than the influence of the fraternity on the American founding fathers. The historical record. Let's start with the facts. Many who signed the Declaration of Independence were Freemasons. Washington, Franklin, and others. But here is where we must apply the same analytical rigor we use in our own intellectual development. Does membership imply a secret conspiratorial agenda or something more mundane? During the Enlightenment, the lodge served as a laboratory of democracy. In the 18th century, a man was defined by his birth and his title. In the lodge, he was defined by his performance of the ritual and his conduct. When Washington presided over a meeting, he was not General Washington. He was the worshipful master. That practice of shifting from a hierarchy of birth to a hierarchy of merit wasn't just a Masonic ritual. It was the rehearsal for the Republic. Deconstructing the conspiracy. Where does the conspiracy theory originate? It stems from a misunderstanding of symbols. When people see the Great Seal of the United States, the eye, the pyramid. They conflate it with Masonic iconography. But these symbols predate the Grand Lodge of England by centuries. You are seeing the influence of the Neoclassical revival of classical antiquity, not a secret Masonic stamp. The founders were obsessed with Roman and Greek virtues. They weren't hiding secrets. They were actively trying to look like the great republics of old. To attribute the birth of a nation solely to a Masonic master plan is to ignore the complex, messy, and very public struggle of the American Revolution. The Socratic Lens. If we apply the Socratic method to these theories, we ask, what is the purpose of the conspiracy narrative? Why cast the founders as figures of shadow rather than men of reason? By treating the history of the craft as a conspiracy, we avoid the harder work, reading the correspondence, studying the political treatises, and understanding the philosophy of natural rights. If you want to see this labor in action, look up the correspondence between George Washington and the Newport Hebrew congregation. In his 1790 letter, he speaks of religious liberty in language that mirrors the tolerance taught in the lodge. It isn't a secret code. It's a public document that proves these men were bringing their moral training out into the light of day. The story of the founders is not found in secret handshakes, but in the ink on the page and the sweat of the argument. Next time you hear a whisper of a Masonic plot, I invite you to ask for the primary source. History is not a puzzle of hidden symbols to be solved. It is a difficult, beautiful labor of self-governance to be continued. Join us next time as we continue to separate the myth from the work.